Introduction. Approximately 1,300 plus words theme. The harsh reality of modern dating through the Stoic male. Lenski words embedded. Stoic mindset. Emotional control. Dating advice for men. Masculine energy. High-value man. Modern relationships. Attraction. Psychology. Rejection. Ghosting. Purpose-driven men scene. A darkened bedroom, moonlight filtering through blinds. The man lies awake, eyes open, thoughts racing. She used to text you first, laugh at your jokes, tell you she missed you now. Nothing. You scroll through your chat. History like it's a crime scene. Looking for clues. Was it that one message I sent too soon? Did I open up too fast? Was I not enough? Stop. Here's the bitter truth. Brother, you were never meant to be enough for someone who was testing you, just to see. If you'd break, because modern dating isn't fair, it's a minefield of fake empowerment. Broken standards and emotional warfare. Weakness number 2. Confidence, the silent magnet that rewires her subconscious estimated word count. This section only approximately 1,600 plus words, CO keywords embedded. Confidence, attraction. High-value man traits, inner strength, dating advice for men, stoic mindset, self-worth, masculine energy, emotional control, self-assured men, how to be confident around women seen, aloud. Bar. Men shouting for attention, complimenting, trying too hard. She smiles politely, till he walks in. He doesn't say much. He doesn't laugh to fit in. He doesn't scan the room for validation. He orders his drink. Out. Takes a seat and simply exists unbothered, unshaken. Her eyes keep returning to him. Not because he's loud, but because he's still. She doesn't know why, but something about him pulls at her like gravity. What confidence actually is, hint. It's not what you've been told. Confidence isn't a voice, it's a vibe. Most guys think confidence is talking. More bragging, louder, making bold statements. Alpha. No, that's compensation. It's a loud mask, covering a quiet. Fear. True confidence is silent. It's still, it's heavy. Like the presence of a mountain, it doesn't rush to explain itself. It doesn't panic when it's misunderstood. It doesn't apologize for existing. Why women crave confident men, biologically and emotionally. Let's break this down from her perspective. Women live in an emotional reality. Every day they're flooded with insecurity triggers, looks, status, comparison, social chaos, DMZ, pressure, judgment, emotional noise from friends, exes, expectations. They're searching for peace, a center, a man whose inner world is stronger than her outer world. Confidence to her equals safety. When a man walks in with unshakable presence, he doesn't need her. To feel valuable, he doesn't try to impress. He doesn't need her attention, but he holds it anyway. That's what breaks her rhythm. That's what makes her wonder, who is this guy? Confidence versus arrogance. Know the line, let's be clear. Confidence is grounded. Arrogance is defensive. Confidence, I know who I am. I don't need you to agree. Arrogance, I need you to see who I am, or I feel small. Confidence is born from internal truth. Arrogance is born from external fear, and women can feel the difference instantly. She may flirt with arrogance, but she stays for confidence, because confidence feels stable, reliable, safe. Confidence is scarcity. In a world of weak men, let's be real. Most men today are emotionally hungry. They call and seek validation in likes, swipes, and fling sopolize for having standards collapse under the weight of feminine disapproval. And here's the thing. When a woman senses that you need her to validate your worth, she loses all attraction instantly, not because she's cruel, but because your neediness signals this. I don't know who I am. Please tell me. That's terrifying to her. She wants a man who says, I know exactly who I am, and if you fit, good. If not, I'm still whole. That's the emotional edge most men never develop. That's the essence of the stoic male frame. Story example. The guy who never asked twice. Let's talk about Chris. Chris wasn't flashy. He didn't have model looks. He didn't have a fancy car or social clout. But when he entered a room, people paused. Why? Because he knew he belonged without needing anyone to agree. One day, he met Sarah, stunning, intelligent, used to men chasing. They talked. Chemistry sparked. She flaked on their first date, expected him to reschedule. He'd not. He simply replied, "No worries. Time's valuable. Don't reschedule no-shows." He didn't curse, didn't beg, didn't chase, just calmly walked away. 3 days later, she chased him. Why? Because in a world of approval-seeking men, he had standards, and standards signal confidence. And most men, they walk into it blindfolded, carrying flowers, not realizing they're stepping into a battlefield. Cut 2. Narrator pacing through a city at night, quiet, brooding, powerful. But you're not like most men. You wouldn't be here if you were. You feel something shifting inside. A hunger, a refusal to be played, a decision to stop bleeding over people who wouldn't even care if you vanished. Cue slow-building music, heartbeat rhythm intensifies. You're not bitter. You're awakening. And the moment you understand these 10 psychological triggers, the hidden levers of attraction embedded deep within the female mind, is the moment you stop asking for love and start commanding respect. This is not about manipulation. This is about mastery. The mastery of your mind, your emotions, your energy. The Stoic man does not chase. He attracts by being unmoved, focused, relentless. This isn't pickup artist trash. This is warrior psychology. And once you understand how these 10 traits hit a woman's subconscious, you'll never need to chase again. She'll feel your presence before you even speak, and when she loses you, she won't sleep the same. Core premise set up. Why nice guys fail. Cut 2. Flashback montage. Women laughing with other men while the nice guy stares at his phone. You were told to be polite, to be patient, to communicate more. But what they didn't tell you is that attraction isn't born in kindness. It's born in polarity. Masculine energy creates tension. Feminine energy responds to it. When you break that polarity, when you become too available, too emotional, too dependent, she pulls away. Not because she's evil, but because her biology is screaming, "This man cannot lead me. He cannot protect me. He is not the one." Zoom in. Narrator turns to camera, calm intensity in his eyes. It's not about being an alpha. It's about being aligned, purpose over emotion, mission over mood. And once she senses that your validation isn't for sale, that you will not betray your purpose just to keep her around, that's when she leans in. That's when she feels something. Why most men never learn these truths, let me be brutally honest. Most men won't finish this video. They'll hear one uncomfortable truth, flinch, and click away. Because this kind of self-awareness, it's not for the weak. It requires that you take the pain of rejection and convert it into power, that you stop blaming women, start building yourself, that you stop chasing validation, start pursuing purpose. Scene, narrator looking out over a skyline at dawn. We're not born to beg. You were not made to shrink for anyone's comfort. You were designed to lead, to hold, framed to choose peace over panic, stillness over chaos, to be the calm in her storm. Not the other way around. But you can't do that if you don't understand the deep drivers that govern her behavior. And no, she won't tell you, because she doesn't even consciously know what's pulling her away from you. That's why you need to study the patterns, read between the silences, master the map most men will never see. Final beat before first weakness revealed tension build. Cut to black screen. Heartbeat audio fades. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal what separates the man she forgets from the man she obsesses over. What makes one man just another conversation, and another the man who rewires her thoughts at 2 a.m. But I have to warn you, once you learn these truths, you can't unlearn them. You'll start seeing through the games. You'll stop tolerating disrespect, and some part of you, the wounded, approval-seeking part, will begin to die in its place. A fire, a quiet, fury, A new version of you that no longer settles, chases, or waits for closure. This is the path of the Stoic, the grounded, it's powerful, emotionally disciplined man. And once you walk it, she will feel the shift before she even sees your face. Weakness. -1. The steadfast man, why consistency is the new currency in modern dating. Estimated word count this section only. 1,700 plus words. SEO keywords embedded. High value man, masculine. Consistency, dating psychology, stoic dating advice, emotional discipline, attraction triggers, emotional control, dating tips for men, alpha male mindset, how to attract women seen. Flashback, a woman scrolling her phone. She sees 7 unread messages from men she barely remembers, and one from the man who never double texted. She doesn't remember the guys who spammed her with heart emojis, or the ones who asked, "Did I say something wrong?" After being left on read, she forgets them as fast as she swipes them. But the one man who never broke character, the one who said he'd call it 8 and actually did, is the one who didn't fold under pressure. He haunts her, not because he begged, not because he chased, but because in a sea of emotional volatility, he was a lighthouse. Why steadfast is the rarest trait in the modern man. In today's world, consistency is rebellion. Think about it. Most men are chaotic. They'll promise something, and flake the next minute. Ghost you after a great date, tell you they want a future, then vanish at the first argument. And women, you've seen it all, heard it all. They've developed a sixth sense for inconsistency. They're waiting for the moment. You slip so they can file you under the same folder. Forgettable. Cut to narrator. Walking confidently across a bridge at dawn, but then there's you. The man who doesn't bend because of her. Moods. The man who doesn't cancel plans to chase comfort. The man who lives by a code. When you become that man, you trigger something deep in her psychology. A craving. A trust. That you are the exception, and exceptions, they don't get ghosted. They get remembered. What being steadfast actually means, let's break it down. Being steadfast isn't some cold, Zabotic discipline. It's about alignment. It means you say what you mean and mean what you say. You do what you promise, even when no one's watching. You don't let mood swings, hers or yours, dictate your mission. You don't react emotionally, you respond with calm. Grounded clarity. You are unshakable, not because you're trying to impress her, but because that's who you are. With or without her presence in your life, that's the power of masculine consistency. Story example, the one she didn't expect to lose. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Mia, beautiful, charismatic, flooded with attention daily. Men would bend over backward to get a smile. Then she met Adam. Adam didn't compliment her every 5 minutes. He didn't ask her what she wanted to eat. He made a plan. He didn't text her paragraphs. But when he did message, it was intentional, direct, grounded. At first, she tested him, ignored a text, delayed a reply, started drama. Most guys would have panicked, chased, apologized, explained themselves into oblivion, but not Adam. He didn't flinch. He didn't fight. He simply disappeared for 3 days. Not to punish her, but because he was living his life. Focused on his business, training, reading. When he returned, he'd picked up right where they left off. No emotional commentary. That shook her. Why? Because she realized she wasn't the center of his universe. And oddly enough, that made her want to orbit his. Why inconsistency kills attraction. Be brutally honest. Every time you say something and don't follow through, you lose points. Every time you cancel plans, double text, break your word, she stores it. Not consciously, but emotionally. It chips away at the image of strength she wants to see in you. Women don't test men because they're evil. They test because they're wired to find the strongest man possible. Biologically, they need to know, can this man protect me emotionally, socially, physically, even in chaos? If you fold during a text argument, if you send emotional essays during drama, if you beg after being rejected, you're done. That's why being steadfast is your shield. Building the steadfast frame, practical tactics. Here's how to embody this consistently. To 1. Honor your word, even when it's inconvenient. You say you're going to call her at 7, call, even if your day sucked, even if you're tired, because discipline beats emotion. Point 2. Don't just react. Observe. She's late, she's cold, she's distant. You don't react with panic. You don't spiral. You observe. And let her reveal herself. Remember, behavior tells you more than her words ever could. 3. Practice micro-consistency. Wake up at the same time every day. Stick to your gym schedule. Eat like a warrior. Keep promises to yourself. Before you expect others to believe you, these aren't dating hacks. They're character development. They make you a man of momentum. And momentum is magnetic. Stoic philosophy, connection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the essence of being steadfast, not just in dating, but in life, business, fitness, family. The Stoic. Man does not dance for approval. He doesn't validate himself through a woman's reactions. He is his own compass. And once a woman feels that you are emotionally untouchable, not cruel, not distant, but sovereign, she starts to see you as irreplaceable. The emotional impact on her, here's what most men miss. Women don't want to lead. They don't want to wonder what version of you they'll get today. They don't want to manage your moods. They want peace. And when your presence equals peace, when your consistency creates safety, you become the man she compares all others to, even if she walks away. Closing section. Before transition to weakness number 2, so now ask yourself, do your words match your actions? Do your moods dictate your mission? Can she predict you or depend on you? Because the steadfast man is rare, and what's rare becomes valuable. But here's the real secret. You don't need to fake anything. You don't need to pretend to be stronger than you are. You just need to choose. Every single day. 2. Show up for yourself first. That's where attraction begins.